Hello YouTube, how's it going? It's Professional here, and today we are going to be reviewing the Blimp. The Blimp has been in the game since day one, and I have always wondered when Rockstar were going to release it, and they finally have. So let's see what it has to offer. The Blimp costs $895,000, and you can choose what livery to put on it. And what's nice is it doesn't charge you extra for the livery. This is a Pegasus vehicle, which is kind of disappointing because that means you would have to call the number every time you want to spawn one. I would personally prefer just spawning it from the interactive menu as a personal vehicle. This vehicle is very bad at turning. However, it has surprisingly fast top speed. I was able to get from the Maze Bank Tower to Fort Zancudo in around 1 minute and 30 seconds, so you don't really expect a vehicle like this to be that fast. Not saying it's the fastest vehicle, doesn't have the best speed, but for its size, it's pretty fast, I'd say. In comparison to other vehicles, we have the Bombushka here, and we are doing a speed test, the Bombushka versus the Blimp. And even with the Bombushka having a big advantage with the Jado Thrust, a big head start right there, the Blimp manages to easily catch up to it. And I don't understand how the Bombushka is still one of the slowest vehicles in the game, considering that it has 4 engines, and the Blimp is able to easily pass that. Something doesn't make sense if a Blimp can go faster than a plane with 4 engines on it, right? But here we go. Blimp manages to pass it, so I'm actually surprised by how fast this vehicle is. Now remember, it's not extremely fast, but it will beat other slower aircraft. In our next test right here, we're going to be seeing if the Cargo Bob can pick up the Blimp. Nah, I'm just joking with you guys. It can't. We're going to be doing a speed test versus the Cargo Bob since it's a slower helicopter. In terms of a speed comparison with the Cargo Bob, it seems that the Cargo Bob is more of an equal match for the Blimp. In this test, it looks like I get the upper hand on the Cargo Bob a little bit here, but they're pretty similar to one another in terms of speed. And if you want to gain the most speed possible with the Blimp, you want to gain altitude. The Blimp is really good at gaining altitude. You want to hold the stick forward and then start gaining altitude, and you'll actually go much faster with the Blimp. We've gained some altitude here, and it looks like we're passing the Cargo Bob. In terms of landing, the Blimp is very simple to land, definitely one of the simplest air vehicles to land. Nothing like a lot of the other helicopters in the game when you touch the ground and they're very sensitive to the ground. The Blimp is fine, you can pretty much touch it down anywhere. You just gotta be careful where you land because remember, it's such a big vehicle that it can easily hook onto things. But in terms of coming in contact with the ground, very easy. This Blimp, I find it fun to fly around and mess around. People can climb up on the top. They would have to parachute on or jump off from like a higher roof. That's the only way they could really get on top. But this Blimp is really just designed just to have fun with it. I can't really picture any way possible to get money with this. If anybody can think of any way to get money with this Blimp, any kind of activity you could do or anything like that, let me know in the comments down below. But I honestly cannot think of any kind of activity that you could possibly do with this Blimp. If you get this Blimp, you are just going to be using this to mess around. Just have fun with your friends. There's a speaker system on the bottom of the Blimp, and it can work when you play the radio. Other people can hear it, but you got to be pretty close to them, like a block or two away. But you're just going to be using it just to have fun, nothing really to make money. Even though this vehicle has no weapons, it does have defensive uses, it has countermeasures, and it appears that it has unlimited flares. I did not seem to run out of flares when I was just spamming it. And what's really nice is that these flares automatically come with the Blimp. The game doesn't force you to buy them, which is a welcome change. However, though, if you are in a public session, these flares will stop missiles if they come at you, but you are going to be a sitting duck. If you're in a big public lobby, you're just flying around the city trying to have fun, there's definitely going to be at least 1 or 2 people that are going to try to shoot you down and ruin your fun. So if you're going to be flying around with this, having fun, messing around with your friends, then I suggest using this in a friends session or an invite-only session. Don't fly around in this thing in a public session because some griefers is bound to shoot you down. But as you can see right here, I'm flaring it, and I managed to dodge 1 missile, but then my friend, he fires a 2nd missile here, and I don't manage to dodge it at this point. So you gotta know when to deploy the flares early on, and the unfortunate thing about this Blimp is it only takes 1 missile, but I wasn't expecting much armor from this thing anyways. However, if somebody tries to use an explosive sniper to shoot you down, they might actually be shocked by how much this thing takes. And this Blimp, it's much more vulnerable to an explosive sniper than a homing launcher, because the homing launchers, you can dodge them with flares if you time it correctly, but explosive sniper, you can't really dodge this thing. It's not like in a plane where you can also dodge it because it's just such a big target. But if somebody does start firing an explosive sniper to you, this thing actually takes 6 explosive rounds. So it'll take 1 full magazine from the explosive sniper and 2 more. I was actually pretty shocked that it took 6 rounds. Here we have the pros and the cons. And starting off with the pros, it's not expensive. $895,000 for a Blimp for a vehicle that size. Pretty good price, and the liveries and the flares are covered. Speaking of flares, it has unlimited flares, so you can pretty much use flares for as long as you want. It's pretty fast for its size. Not really the fastest vehicle in the game again, but for its size, it's pretty fast. It takes 6 explosive shots, which I'm sure a lot of people will be shocked by. I thought it was only going to take 2. It's easy to land. It can land pretty much anywhere you want. Just make sure there's no obstacles because it could hook onto something like a tree or a light post. But if you're just landing on ground, there's no problems landing this thing on the ground. It has a fun speaker. You can play pretty much any radio station that you want on the speaker. And when you fly over your friends, they can hear that music. Friends can climb on the top, so you can go with this thing at full speed, and you can have some people climb on the top, mess around with your friends. In terms of cons, it blows up in 1 missile, which, you know, I wasn't really expecting much from this blimp anyways. I wasn't expecting it to take more than 1 anyways. And it has very bad turning. Handling is pretty bad on it, and it can hook on the objects. And what I mean by that is if you're landing, like I said earlier, near like a tree or like a lantern or something like that, you could hit that, it could hook on, and it could cause you to blow up. And you can't change the liveries. In order to change the liveries, you would have to literally buy another blimp. That's the only way, as far as I know, to change the livery. The only way to do so would be to buy another blimp, which I think is pretty stupid. You should be able to just change the livery. That's why it should be a personal vehicle, which comes to our last con, not being a personal vehicle. You can't spawn it from the interaction menu. You gotta call Pegasus every time, and you can't change the liveries on it, which is kind of disappointing. So you're pretty much stuck with the only livery. And I don't recommend people buy 2 or 3 blimps just to have different colors. Pick the one color that you want. I chose Masonette, and just keep that color. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like. If you're new to my channel and you like my content, and subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm glad that the blimp was finally added to the game. I've been asking for it for so long. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy messing around with it in the future. Again, this is not a money-making vehicle. If anybody can think of a way to make money with this vehicle, let me know. But this is the kind of vehicle that you're just going to mess around with your friends in free mode. Not really going to do much more than that. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.